Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something that affects all of us, trying to force things in our lives. We live in a world where we are taught to control everything, to push and struggle for results. But Stoicism teaches us that forcing life only leads to stress, frustration, and disappointment. Instead, there are simple daily practices that can change how we live and think. Here are 5 Stoic rules to help you stop forcing everything and start living with ease. Life is full of things that are simply beyond our influence. The weather may change, plans may fail, people may act in ways we do not expect, and unexpected events may occur at any moment. Trying to control these things only leads to frustration, anger, and unnecessary stress. The first principle of Stoicism is to focus on what is within our power and to accept what is not. Accepting what you cannot control is not about giving up or being passive. It is about understanding the limits of your influence and using your energy wisely. When you accept what you cannot control, you free your mind from unnecessary suffering. You stop wasting energy on arguments, complaints, and resistance to reality. Instead, you can focus on your thoughts, decisions, and actions, which are the things you truly control. Every morning, you can remind yourself that some things are outside your power. This might include other people's opinions, the outcome of events, or external circumstances that affect your day. By starting your day with this understanding, you set a foundation of calm and clarity. You begin to see challenges differently, not as threats, but as opportunities to exercise your judgment and character. The more you practice acceptance, the more resilient you become. Resilience comes from knowing that you can handle whatever life throws at you without being ruled by frustration or disappointment. Acceptance also involves letting go of attachment to specific outcomes. Many people tie their happiness and sense of success to results they cannot fully control. Stoicism teaches that true contentment comes from acting rightly and living according to virtue, not from controlling the world. For example, you can prepare for a presentation, study for an exam, or work hard on a project, but the results are influenced by factors beyond your control. By accepting this reality, you can focus entirely on doing your best, without being enslaved by anxiety or fear of failure. Acceptance allows you to act freely and confidently, because you are not dependent on external validation or outcomes. Practicing acceptance does not mean ignoring problems or being indifferent. On the contrary, it sharpens your mind and allows you to respond effectively. When you recognize the limits of your control, you can direct your energy where it matters most. You can influence your own thoughts, emotions, and choices. You can choose patience over anger, reason over impulsiveness, and understanding over judgment. Accepting what you cannot control also improves your relationships. You stop trying to manipulate others or force them to behave as you wish. Instead, you engage with people more genuinely, respecting their autonomy while focusing on your own conduct. Morning routines can help embed this principle in your daily life. Before starting your day, take a few minutes to reflect on what lies beyond your control. Repeat a simple mantra like, "I will do my part and accept the rest." Visualize potential challenges and remind yourself that the outcome is not entirely up to you. This practice creates mental clarity and reduces stress. It helps you approach your day with a calm and steady mind, ready to act thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Over time, accepting what you cannot control becomes a habit. Situations that once triggered frustration or worry now become easier to handle. You develop a sense of inner peace that is independent of external events. Life's unpredictability no longer feels like a threat because you have cultivated a mindset that is flexible and composed. By accepting what is outside your power, you also strengthen your judgment, focus, and emotional intelligence. You begin to see challenges as opportunities to practice patience, discipline, and virtue. This acceptance does not make you passive or weak. It makes you stronger. It allows you to conserve your energy, act deliberately, and make better decisions. You become less reactive and more intentional in your behavior. Instead of being frustrated by the world, you become capable of navigating it with calm and confidence. Acceptance teaches you humility, reminding you that not everything depends on you, and that some things must simply be met with understanding and composure. By internalizing this principle, you learn to live in harmony with reality. You reduce unnecessary suffering caused by resistance and frustration. Your mind becomes clear, focused, and resilient. You can handle difficulties with a calm and steady approach. Accepting what you cannot control is the foundation of a Stoic life, the starting point for freedom from mental chaos, and the key to acting wisely in a world full of uncertainty. In life, one of the most common sources of stress and disappointment is our obsession with outcomes. We constantly worry about results, success, recognition, or approval from others. We spend energy trying to control things that are often beyond our reach, and when reality does not match our expectations, we feel frustrated, anxious, or defeated. Stoicism teaches us a simple yet powerful truth. We cannot always control what happens, but we can always control our own actions. By focusing on what we can do rather than what we hope will happen, we regain control over our mind and our life. Every morning, before rushing into the day, remind yourself that your energy is most valuable when spent on your own thoughts and actions. You can plan, prepare, and execute your tasks with care and attention, but the final result depends on countless variables beyond your influence. Focusing on actions instead of outcomes allows you to do your best without being consumed by worry or fear. It shifts your attention from external circumstances to your internal power, and this shift is liberating. You begin to understand that success is not measured solely by results, but by effort, discipline, and integrity. When we tie our happiness to outcomes, we become vulnerable to disappointment. For example, you may work hard on a project, expecting praise or a promotion, and if it does not happen, your mood and confidence may suffer. Stoicism advises that instead of investing in results, we invest in our actions. Doing the right thing, putting in consistent effort, and maintaining our principles are always within our control. This mindset reduces stress and creates a sense of stability, because your self-worth is no longer dependent on factors outside your influence. Morning routines can reinforce this principle. Take a few minutes to plan your day with a focus on your actions. Ask yourself, what can I do today that is within my control? How can I act with discipline, patience, and integrity? Visualize performing each action to the best of your ability, without worrying about how it will be received or what the outcome will be. By setting this intention early, you train your mind to value effort over results and to stay grounded regardless of external circumstances. Focusing on your own actions also improves decision-making. When we obsess over outcomes, we are prone to impatience, rash choices, and shortcuts that compromise our values. By prioritizing actions, we act deliberately and thoughtfully. Each choice becomes an opportunity to exercise virtue, whether it is honesty, diligence, patience, or compassion. The more we practice focusing on actions, the more natural it becomes to respond to life with composure and rationality. This principle extends to relationships, too. We often try to force others to behave as we wish, expecting them to meet our standards or desires. Stoicism teaches that we cannot control others, only our own conduct. By focusing on our actions, we engage with people respectfully, communicate clearly, and act with integrity, without being attached to their responses. This approach strengthens relationships and reduces conflict, because we are no longer trying to control what we cannot. Over time, focusing on actions builds resilience. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks are inevitable, but by valuing effort over outcome, we maintain our inner calm. We learn that failures are not failures in themselves, but opportunities to improve our actions and grow stronger. Each day becomes a chance to practice discipline, patience, and intentionality, regardless of external circumstances. This mindset also cultivates long-term success. People who focus on actions consistently perform better, because they concentrate on effort and skill, building rather than luck or circumstance. They adapt to challenges, learn from mistakes, and steadily progress toward their goals. By committing to daily actions rather than obsessing over results, we achieve mastery over our own behavior, which is the true foundation of personal growth and fulfillment. Focusing on actions instead of outcomes transforms how we experience life. It reduces anxiety, strengthens resilience, improves relationships, and fosters self-discipline. By practicing this principle every morning, we start the day with clarity and intention. We learn to invest in what truly matters, our own thoughts, choices, and actions, while letting go of what we cannot control. creating a calm and empowered mindset that carries us through any challenge. How you begin your day often determines how the rest of your day unfolds. Many people wake up and immediately react to emails, messages, or the pressures of work and life without pausing to center themselves. This reactive approach leaves the mind scattered, stressed, and easily overwhelmed. Stoicism teaches that starting the day with reflection is one of the most powerful ways to take control of your mind and your life. Reflection in the morning sets the tone, allowing you to approach challenges with clarity, purpose, and calmness. Morning reflection is about pausing and observing your own thoughts before external events pull you in every direction. It allows you to focus on what matters, to plan your actions wisely, and to prepare for difficulties that may arise. Even just 5 to 10 minutes of quiet contemplation can transform your mindset. During this time, you can consider what you hope to achieve, what challenges you may face, and how you intend to respond. This practice shifts your attention inward, reminding you that your reactions are always within your control. Even when external circumstances are unpredictable, one simple way to begin morning reflection is by asking yourself a few key questions. What is my intention for today? How do I want to act in the face of difficulty? What virtues do I want to embody? Patience, discipline, courage, or kindness? These questions encourage self-awareness and help you prioritize your actions rather than getting lost in distractions or emotions. By contemplating these questions daily, you train your mind to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. This habit becomes a protective shield against stress, frustration, and negative emotions. Morning reflection also helps you anticipate obstacles. Life is unpredictable, and challenges can appear without warning. By taking a few minutes to mentally rehearse difficulties, you prepare yourself to face them calmly. Stoics called this practice premeditatio malorum, which means thinking ahead about potential problems. This is not to make you fearful or pessimistic, but to strengthen your resilience. When challenges arise, you are not caught off guard because you have already considered how you might act with composure and reason. This preparation reduces anxiety and builds confidence in your ability to handle adversity. Another benefit of morning reflection is that it aligns your actions with your values. It is easy to go through the day reacting to circumstances and pleasing others while losing sight of what truly matters to you. By reflecting each morning, you remind yourself of your priorities, your principles, and your long-term goals. This conscious alignment allows you to act with integrity, make better decisions, and stay focused on what contributes to your growth and well-being. Your actions become deliberate rather than random, and your energy is directed toward meaningful pursuits instead of scattered distractions. Reflection also encourages gratitude and presence. In the quiet of the morning, you can acknowledge the things you are thankful for: your health, your opportunities, your loved ones, or simply the chance to live another day. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is lacking to what is abundant in your life. This positive mindset not only reduces stress, but also enhances your capacity to approach the day with patience, kindness, and clarity. You are less likely to react impulsively because your mind has already been grounded in perspective and awareness. Finally, morning reflection fosters continuous self-improvement. By taking the time to assess your intentions and actions, you develop insight into your habits, tendencies, and thought patterns. You begin to notice where tend to get frustrated, distracted, or reactive. This awareness allows you to make small adjustments each day, gradually shaping your character and behavior over time. Reflection is the first step toward mastery of the self, because you cannot improve what you do not observe. Starting your day with reflection transforms ordinary mornings into moments of preparation, clarity, and empowerment. It strengthens resilience, improves decision-making, aligns your actions with your values, and creates a sense of inner calm. By cultivating this practice daily, you develop a mind that is attentive, intentional, and composed, ready to face life with wisdom and patience. One of the most important lessons Stoicism teaches is that life has its own rhythm, and trying to rush or force things often leads to frustration and failure. Patience is not simply waiting. It is understanding the right time to act, the right pace to follow, and the limits of our influence. Timing is crucial in every aspect of life, from decisions and relationships to work and personal growth. By practicing patience and learning to recognize the proper timing, we gain clarity, control, and peace of mind, and we avoid unnecessary stress that comes from forcing outcomes before the moment is right. Patience begins with understanding that life is unpredictable, and that many things unfold according to their own schedule. We often expect immediate results, quick recognition, or instant success, and when these expectations are not met, we feel frustrated or anxious. Stoicism teaches that rushing or forcing progress rarely produces the desired outcome. Instead, it emphasizes deliberate action, thoughtful preparation, and a willingness to allow events to develop naturally. This mindset encourages us to focus on our own conduct and readiness rather than on the timing of external events. Every morning, you can remind yourself that not everything requires immediate action. Life will present opportunities and challenges at the right time, and acting prematurely may lead to mistakes or wasted effort. By practicing patience, you give yourself space to observe, reflect, and prepare before making decisions. This helps you respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. It also strengthens self-control because you are no longer driven by urgency, fear, or desire for instant results. Your energy is directed more efficiently toward meaningful action rather than reactive behavior. Timing is closely connected to patience. Knowing when to act is just as important as knowing what action to take. Stoics emphasize observing the situation carefully, understanding the context, and waiting for the right moment to intervene. Acting too early or too late can have negative consequences, but acting at the right moment multiplies effectiveness. This principle applies to work, relationships, and personal growth. For example, you may be eager to advance in your career, but without the proper preparation or experience, forcing opportunities may backfire. Patience allows you to build skills, gather information, and make strategic moves that increase your likelihood of success. Practicing patience also improves emotional stability. Many people become agitated or stressed because they cannot control the pace of events. By accepting that some things require time, you reduce frustration and cultivate a sense of calm. Each morning, take a moment to acknowledge that life unfolds at its own speed, and remind yourself to act when the time is right. This mindset strengthens resilience because you are less likely to be shaken by delays, setbacks, or unexpected changes. You learn to flow with circumstances instead of struggling against them. Patience and timing are equally important in relationships. Trying to force understanding, affection, or agreement can damage connections with others. Stoicism teaches that we should focus on our own behavior, communicate clearly, and respect the natural process of human interaction. People respond in their own time, and patience allows trust, respect, and collaboration to develop organically. By aligning our actions with the natural timing of events, we avoid unnecessary conflict and maintain harmony in our interactions. Moreover, practicing patience enhances long-term success. Many achievements require sustained effort, incremental progress, and perseverance. By focusing on consistent action rather than immediate results, you build momentum over time. Each step, no matter how small, contributes to your goals when executed with patience and attention to timing. You learn to value the process rather than obsess over instant outcomes, and this approach reduces stress while increasing efficiency and effectiveness. Daily reminders of patience and timing cultivate wisdom and maturity. You begin to recognize which situations demand immediate attention and which require careful observation. You learn to discern between what is urgent and what is important. This discernment allows you to act decisively when necessary while remaining calm and composed in less critical situations. By practicing patience every morning, you train your mind to respect the natural flow of life, to respond rather than react, and to achieve more by forcing less. Gratitude is one of the simplest, yet most transformative practices you can adopt. Many people focus on what they lack, what went wrong, or what they wish were different, and this mindset creates stress, frustration, and dissatisfaction. Stoicism teaches that true contentment comes from appreciating what we already have and recognizing the value in our present circumstances. By cultivating gratitude every morning, you set the tone for the day, shift your perspective from scarcity to abundance, and strengthen your mental and emotional resilience. Starting your day with gratitude means taking a few moments to reflect on what is good in your life. This could be as simple as your health, your home, your family, or even the opportunity to live another day. When you focus on what you already have, your mind stops chasing what it cannot control and begins to find satisfaction in what is already present. This shift in perspective is powerful because it reduces anxiety about the future and regret about the past. You begin the day with a sense of contentment and clarity, rather than worry and distraction. Morning gratitude also strengthens your ability to respond to challenges. Life is unpredictable, and obstacles will arise. But when you start the day appreciating what you have, difficulties lose some of their power to disturb your peace. Gratitude creates a mental buffer against stress because it trains your mind to recognize value even in challenging situations. For example, you may face delays, criticism, or setbacks, but by remembering the things you are grateful for, you maintain perspective and composure. This allows you to act thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. The practice of gratitude is not about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. Instead, it is about acknowledging the positives alongside the negatives and finding balance in your perception. Stoics often remind us that external circumstances are beyond our control, but our attitude toward them is always within our power. By focusing on gratitude, we cultivate a mindset that sees opportunities and lessons in every situation, rather than dwelling on what is missing or unfair. This approach empowers us to face life with resilience and optimism. One effective way to cultivate gratitude in the morning is through simple reflection or journaling. Spend a few minutes writing down 3 to 5 things you are grateful for. They can be as basic as having food to eat, a comfortable place to sleep, or the chance to learn and grow. By actively acknowledging these things, you train your mind to notice positives throughout the day. Gratitude journaling reinforces the habit and makes it easier to maintain a positive and calm outlook even in difficult circumstances. Morning gratitude also improves relationships. When we appreciate the people around us, their support, kindness, or presence, we are more patient, understanding, and compassionate in our interactions. Gratitude shifts our focus from complaints and expectations to recognition and acknowledgement. This creates harmony and strengthens bonds with others. People naturally respond to appreciation, and by cultivating gratitude, we improve our connections and reduce unnecessary conflict. Moreover, gratitude encourages mindfulness and presence. When we take time to appreciate the moment, we are less likely to dwell on past mistakes or worry about the future. We engage fully with the present, noticing small joys and simple pleasures that might otherwise go unnoticed. This attentiveness increases our overall sense of well-being and satisfaction, making each day richer and more meaningful. Finally, practicing gratitude every morning reinforces humility and perspective. Life can be unpredictable, and circumstances can change suddenly. By regularly acknowledging what we have, we remind ourselves not to take anything for granted. Gratitude fosters contentment without complacency. It teaches us to appreciate the present while continuing to strive for growth and improvement. Over time, this daily habit strengthens mental resilience, promotes emotional stability, and creates a foundation for a calm, balanced, and fulfilling life. Many people spend their lives trying to force outcomes, believing that constant effort, pressure, or control will guarantee success. We push ourselves, manipulate situations, and try to bend circumstances to our will, often with little effect. Stoicism teaches a different approach. Instead of forcing results, focus on doing your part and accepting that some things are beyond your control. Letting go of the need to force results reduces stress, improves clarity, and allows your efforts to be more effective and purposeful. Forcing results often comes from a misunderstanding of control. We believe that if we work harder, push more, or act more aggressively, we can guarantee a specific outcome. However, life is full of variables that we cannot influence: other people's decisions, timing, natural events, and unforeseen circumstances. When we try to control these things, we are setting ourselves up for frustration and disappointment. Stoicism reminds us that our energy is best spent on what we can control: our thoughts, our actions, and our intentions. Every morning, you can remind yourself to release the need to control outcomes. This doesn't mean being passive or careless. It means committing to doing your best in every task without attaching your peace of mind to the result. When you start the day with this mindset, your actions become more deliberate and focused. You pay attention to the process, act with integrity, and maintain discipline, while letting go of the anxiety that comes from wanting a specific outcome. This creates a sense of calm and freedom that is difficult to achieve when we are constantly trying to force results. Letting go of forced outcomes also enhances creativity and problem solving. When we are obsessed with a particular result, we often narrow our perspective and miss alternative paths or solutions. By focusing on effort rather than outcome, we allow ourselves to explore possibilities, take calculated risks, and adapt to changing circumstances. This flexibility increases the likelihood of success because we are not rigidly attached to one way of achieving our goals. Patience and openness become natural companions to our efforts. This principle also improves relationships. In personal and professional life, we often try to control how others think, behave, or respond. This desire to force results in interactions leads to conflict, resentment, and frustration. Stoicism teaches that we can only control our own behavior. By acting with honesty, respect, and kindness, and letting go of the need to control how others react, we cultivate healthier and more authentic relationships. You become more focused on your own conduct, and this often inspires cooperation and trust rather than resistance. Morning routines can reinforce this mindset. Take a few minutes to visualize your day and identify areas where you might be tempted to force outcomes. Remind yourself that your responsibility is to act wisely and diligently, not to guarantee specific results. Repeat a simple affirmation like, "I will do my part and accept what follows." This practice trains your mind to value effort over control, reduces anxiety, and builds resilience. It prepares you to face the day with composure, focus, and clarity, even when things do not go as planned. Letting go of forced outcomes also cultivates humility and perspective. We realize that life is larger than our immediate desires, and that circumstances unfold according to natural laws and timing. This awareness allows us to navigate challenges with patience and rationality, rather than frustration and impulsiveness. When we release the need to force results, we are better able to appreciate the process, learn from mistakes, and adapt to change. Our energy is preserved for what truly matters: action, growth, and thoughtful decision-making, rather than wasted on controlling the uncontrollable. By practicing this principle consistently, you build inner freedom and mental clarity. You stop being a slave to expectations and outcomes, and instead, you become focused on what truly matters, living with intention, integrity, and resilience. Letting go of the need to force results allows life to unfold naturally, while your actions remain purposeful, disciplined, and effective. Life is full of unexpected events, obstacles, and difficulties. Every day presents situations that can provoke anger, fear, or frustration if we allow ourselves to react impulsively. Most people respond to challenges by reacting immediately, driven by emotion rather than reason. Reacting is automatic and often counterproductive. It can escalate problems, damage relationships, and create unnecessary stress. Stoicism teaches that the key to handling life effectively is to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Responding allows you to maintain control, make better decisions, and face challenges with clarity and composure. The difference between reacting and responding lies in awareness. Reaction is instinctive. It is triggered by emotion, past experiences, or habitual thought patterns. It often leads to overreaction, regret, or mistakes. Response, on the other hand, is deliberate and conscious. It involves pausing, assessing the situation, and choosing an action aligned with your values and goals. By practicing response instead of reaction, you gain power over your emotions and behavior. You stop being a slave to circumstances and begin to act with intention. Every morning, you can prepare yourself to respond rather than react. Take a few minutes to reflect on potential challenges you might face during the day. Imagine situations that could provoke frustration or fear, and visualize yourself handling them calmly. By mentally rehearsing thoughtful responses, you strengthen your ability to remain composed when real life challenges arise. This practice creates a mindset where obstacles are seen as opportunities to exercise patience, wisdom, and discipline, rather than triggers for emotional upheaval. Responding also involves recognizing what is within your control. Challenges often include elements you cannot influence, such as other people's actions, random events, or external pressures. Stoicism teaches that focusing on these uncontrollable elements leads to frustration, while focusing on your own choices and actions leads to effectiveness. When faced with difficulty, ask yourself, what can I control in this situation? How can I act wisely and virtuously? This mindset allows you to respond calmly, with clear judgment and purposeful action. Practicing response over reaction improves relationships. When people react impulsively, conflicts often escalate, words are spoken in anger, and misunderstandings grow. Responding thoughtfully, however, allows you to communicate clearly, listen actively, and consider other perspectives. You maintain respect for others while asserting your own boundaries. This approach fosters cooperation, trust, and mutual understanding, even in challenging situations. By responding rather than reacting, you model emotional intelligence and create more harmonious interactions. Another benefit of responding is enhanced problem solving. When we react impulsively, our thinking is clouded by emotion, and we may overlook better options. Response allows time to analyze the situation, consider alternatives, and select the most effective course of action. This deliberate approach increases the likelihood of successful outcomes, reduces mistakes, and strengthens confidence in your decision-making abilities. You learn to approach challenges strategically rather than chaotically. Morning reflection reinforces this principle by helping you set intentions. Remind yourself that throughout the day, events will not always go as planned. People may act unpredictably, and difficulties will arise. Accepting this reality prepares you mentally to face challenges with calmness. Visualize how you will maintain composure, respond with patience, and act according to your principles. By practicing this mental exercise daily, you condition your mind to pause before reacting, to observe before acting, and to prioritize reason over emotion. Over time, consistently choosing response over reaction cultivates inner peace and resilience. You become less vulnerable to stress and emotional turmoil because you no longer allow circumstances to control your state of mind. Challenges are no longer sources of fear or anger but opportunities to exercise wisdom and self-control. You gain mastery over your behavior, your emotions, and your decisions, creating a life where you act with intention rather than being swept away by impulse. One of the main reasons people feel overwhelmed and stressed in life is because they try to do too much at once. They chase multiple goals, take on too many responsibilities, and constantly react to demands from the world around them. This scattered approach divides attention, drains energy, and often leads to frustration when results do not match expectations. Stoicism teaches that simplicity is a path to clarity and effectiveness. By simplifying your goals and priorities, you focus your energy on what truly matters, reduce unnecessary stress, and increase your ability to achieve meaningful outcomes. Simplifying begins with understanding what is essential in your life. Every morning, take a few minutes to reflect on what is most important, what aligns with your values, principles, and long-term goals. Many people spend their time on tasks that are urgent, but not important, reacting to demands instead of choosing actions that matter. By identifying your highest priorities, you can dedicate your energy to things that contribute most to your growth, well-being, and purpose. This focus eliminates distractions and allows for deeper engagement with the tasks that truly deserve attention. Setting fewer, clearer goals does not mean being passive or unambitious. It means being intentional. When you reduce the number of priorities, you increase the quality of your effort on each one. Stoics believe that mastery and virtue come from deliberate practice and consistent effort, not from doing many things at once. When you simplify, you create space for thoughtful planning, preparation, and reflection, which leads to better results over time. You can approach each goal with care and discipline, rather than spreading yourself thin and achieving little in a meaningful way. Simplifying priorities also reduces mental clutter. The human mind has limited capacity, and trying to juggle too many tasks or responsibilities causes stress and indecision. By focusing on a few key goals, you create mental clarity, which allows you to act decisively and with confidence. Each morning, remind yourself of the top tasks or intentions for the day. Keep them simple, achievable, and aligned with your larger purpose. This practice trains your mind to focus on what matters and ignore distractions, which improves efficiency, reduces anxiety, and enhances your sense of control over your life. Another benefit of simplification is that it strengthens your ability to adapt. Life is unpredictable, and unexpected challenges can disrupt even the best laid plans. When your goals and priorities are too complex or scattered, you are more likely to feel lost or stressed when things change. By keeping your focus on a few essential priorities, you maintain flexibility and resilience. You can adjust your actions without losing sight of what is truly important, responding to life's changes calmly and effectively. Simplifying also improves decision-making. When there are too many competing priorities, it becomes difficult to choose where to invest time and energy. By clarifying your goals, you make decisions faster, more confidently, and in alignment with your values. Each choice becomes intentional rather than reactive, and you conserve energy for meaningful action rather than wasting it on indecision, distraction, or low-priority tasks. Morning reflection is an effective tool to practice simplification. Take a few minutes each day to write down your top goals and priorities. Ask yourself which tasks will have the most impact on your personal growth, relationships, or long-term objectives. Let go of unnecessary obligations or distractions that do not serve your purpose. By doing this consistently, you create a habit of intentional living, where your focus is sharp, your energy is conserved, and your actions are aligned with what truly matters. Simplifying your goals and priorities transforms your experience of life. It reduces stress, improves focus, enhances decision-making, and increases the likelihood of meaningful achievement. By concentrating on the essential and letting go of the non-essential, you create space for deliberate action, thoughtful reflection, and purposeful growth. This principle helps you live with clarity, efficiency, and calm, ensuring that each day is guided by intention rather than chaos. Life is designed to challenge us, and growth often comes from stepping outside of comfort. Most people spend their lives seeking ease, convenience, and security, avoiding situations that are uncomfortable or difficult. While this may feel safe, it limits personal development and keeps potential untapped. Stoicism teaches that discomfort is not something to fear, but a necessary tool for building strength, resilience, and wisdom. By embracing discomfort, we learn to navigate challenges, expand our abilities, and cultivate a mindset that thrives in adversity. Discomfort appears in many forms: physical strain, mental challenges, social pressure, or emotional difficulties. It may come from a demanding job, a difficult conversation, or pushing yourself to learn something new. Stoics believe that enduring and learning from these challenges strengthens the mind and character. Every time you face discomfort and handle it with composure, you expand your capacity for patience, discipline, and resilience. Life becomes less frightening because you know that you have faced difficulty before and can do so again. Morning routines are an excellent time to prepare for discomfort. Before starting your day, remind yourself that challenges are inevitable and that encountering difficulty is a normal part of life. Visualize potential uncomfortable situations and imagine yourself handling them with calm and rationality. This mental rehearsal strengthens your mindset and reduces the instinct to avoid or react impulsively to challenges. It prepares you to face adversity with intentional action rather than fear or frustration. Embracing discomfort also teaches you to value effort over results. Many people give up when things become hard, expecting immediate rewards or easy success. Stoicism reminds us that growth comes from persistence and hard work, not from comfort or convenience. By facing discomfort willingly, you develop discipline, patience, and self-mastery. These qualities not only improve your ability to handle life's challenges, but also increase your confidence and sense of control. Another important aspect of embracing discomfort is learning to detach from external validation. Discomfort often arises when we confront situations where we are judged, criticized, or challenged. Stoics teach that we cannot control how others perceive us, only how we act. By facing difficult situations without seeking approval or fearing judgment, we strengthen our character. Each time we endure discomfort without compromising our values, we reinforce our independence and self-reliance. Physical discomfort can also play a role in building resilience. Simple practices such as waking up early, exercising, or fasting are forms of voluntary discomfort that train the mind and body. These experiences teach patience, focus, and self-discipline. By introducing small challenges into your daily routine, you prepare yourself for larger, unforeseen difficulties with greater calm and confidence. Morning reflection is the perfect time to set an intention to embrace these forms of discomfort and to remind yourself that temporary strain leads to long-term growth. Emotional discomfort, such as dealing with conflict, fear, or failure, is another area where embracing challenge leads to strength. Life will inevitably bring disappointment and setbacks. By facing these experiences head-on rather than avoiding them, you cultivate resilience and wisdom. You learn to respond thoughtfully, maintain perspective, and extract lessons from adversity. Discomfort becomes a teacher, guiding you toward better decision-making, deeper understanding, and personal growth. Over time, embracing discomfort changes how you experience life. You become less reactive to stress, more confident in your abilities, and more willing to take calculated risks. Challenges that once seemed intimidating become opportunities to practice patience, discipline, and courage. You develop a mindset that views difficulty not as a threat, but as a natural and valuable part of life, allowing you to grow stronger with each experience. By consistently embracing discomfort, you strengthen your mind, body, and character. You learn resilience, self-control, and patience. Each day presents opportunities to face challenges intentionally, to push your boundaries, and to expand your capabilities. This principle of Stoicism transforms your approach to life, helping you meet adversity with calm, strength, and clarity, while turning challenges into opportunities for growth. One of the most powerful practices in Stoicism is learning to observe your thoughts without judgment. Most people allow their minds to be controlled by fleeting emotions, impulsive reactions, and habitual thinking. We often label thoughts as good or bad, right or wrong, and let them dictate our mood and behavior. Stoicism teaches that the first step towards self-mastery is awareness, watching your thoughts as they arise, without immediately reacting or assigning value to them. By observing your mind in this way, you gain clarity, control, and the ability to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. Observing your thoughts begins with quiet reflection. Every morning, before diving into the business of the day, take a few moments to sit quietly and watch your mind. Notice the thoughts that appear, the worries that arise, and the judgments that surface. You do not need to analyze or change them at this moment. Simply observe them as a neutral witness. This practice builds self-awareness and helps you recognize patterns in your thinking that might lead to stress, impulsive behavior, or unhelpful emotions. When you observe your thoughts without judgment, you create a gap between stimulus and response. Most people react immediately to thoughts, allowing fear, anger, or desire to dictate their actions. Stoics teach that this gap is where freedom lies, the space where reason can guide your choices. By noticing a thought without labeling it as good or bad, you give yourself the opportunity to respond intentionally. This mental pause reduces impulsiveness and allows you to act according to your values and principles, rather than being driven by emotion. Morning observation also prepares you for challenges throughout the day. Life will inevitably present situations that provoke anxiety, frustration, or temptation. By practicing thought observation, you strengthen your ability to remain calm and centered. When a difficult thought arises, you can recognize it without being overwhelmed. For example, you might feel fear before a presentation or irritation during a conversation, but by observing the thought as it comes, you can prevent it from controlling your behavior. This practice develops resilience and emotional stability over time. Another benefit of observing your thoughts is increased self-understanding. Many of our reactions stem from unconscious beliefs, habits, or assumptions. By noticing thoughts without judgment, you begin to identify these underlying patterns. You may discover that certain worries are repetitive, that negative self-talk is common, or that assumptions about others are influencing your behavior. Awareness is the first step toward change, because you cannot adjust what you do not recognize. Observing your mind in this way gives you the insight to improve your thinking, emotional responses, and decision-making. This practice also encourages mindfulness and presence. When we constantly judge our thoughts, we are often lost in the past or anxious about the future. Observation without judgment brings attention to the present moment. You notice the flow of thoughts as they occur, without being carried away. This strengthens your focus, enhances your clarity, and allows you to approach each situation with calm and intentionality. Over time, you become less reactive to distractions and more capable of deliberate, purposeful action. Observing thoughts without judgment also supports self-compassion. People often criticize themselves for having certain thoughts, feeling shame, or judging themselves harshly. Stoicism teaches that thoughts themselves are neutral. It is our reaction to them that matters. By practicing non-judgmental observation, you reduce self-criticism, increase acceptance, and create a foundation for personal growth. You recognize that thoughts are temporary, and you are not defined by each fleeting emotion or impulse. Morning reflection is the ideal time to practice this principle. Before engaging with the day's demands, sit quietly and simply watch your mind. Notice the first thoughts that arise, the judgments that appear, and the emotions that follow. Practice observing them with curiosity rather than judgment. Over time, this daily habit strengthens your mental clarity, emotional control, and ability to act intentionally in every area of life. By consistently observing your thoughts without judgment, you develop a calm, aware, and resilient mind. You become less reactive, more intentional, and better able to navigate challenges with reason and composure. This Stoic practice cultivates self-mastery, emotional stability, and the ability to respond wisely to whatever life presents, turning observation into a powerful tool for personal growth and inner peace.